Hey everybody, Adam Davidson, RadCast for Wednesday, June 28th, 2023. We're talking about fighting evil. Paul writes in Romans 12, hate what is evil, cling to what is good. Then later on in the same chapter, do not be overcome by evil, but overcome evil with good. And set within the bookends or the parentheses of these two instructions about fighting evil and keeping the good are a bunch of practical, very down-to-earth things that give us just an action step for the day. So here's your action step for today from Romans 12:11. Paul writes, never be lacking in zeal, but keep your spiritual fervor serving the Lord. And that's the word of the Lord. A couple of words there we don't use very often, zeal and fervor. Zeal is eager desire, enthusiastic diligence. Fervor is great warmth and earnestness of feeling, a boiling, intense heat. So Paul writes this in the context of servanthood. He says, fight evil, cling to the good, don't be lacking in zeal, don't be lacking in eager desire and enthusiastic diligence. Keep your spiritual fervor, your boiling heat, your great warmth, your earnestness. Serving who? Serving the Lord. Another translation puts it like this, never be lazy, but work hard and serve the Lord enthusiastically. How does this fight evil? Very easy. First of all, evil creeps into my heart when I no longer see myself as a servant and or when I lack the fervor and the boiling power of the Holy Spirit in me. That becomes a power of evil in a way because we're pushing God out of the mundane and out of the details. And we're seeing ourselves as victims of a difficult thing rather than servants who serve cheerfully. How does this fight evil in the world? Well, you've been around people who love their life and you've been around people who hate their lives. I want to be the kind of person that loves Jesus and loves what I get to do, even if it stinks. And we teach our boys, hold the door open for people. If there's a moment where a servant is needed, slide in, expecting no applause and no praise. Just do it because it's the right thing to do. And there's great power in servanthood. There's great power in taking the position of just saying, man, I serve the Lord, and I love that I get to do this. My life has been given to me by Christ. He's redeemed me. He himself came as a servant, not to be served, but to give his life as a ransom for many. And so I, in following in the footsteps of Jesus, will do the same. There's no better place or showcase for this in my life personally than when it comes to our daughter, Lexi. Lexi is going to be 19 years old next month, but Lexi with Down syndrome and autism actually functions at about a 1.5 or 2-year-old level. That means that every morning we get her up, part of the routine is to get her off to the shower, change her diaper, which has been with her all night. It's full of everything you could imagine. To clean her off, we wear gloves for this just because it's kind of gross. And yet Lexi sings and talks, and we sing and talk back to her. And we go through this whole thing, this routine of getting her cleaned up, getting her off to the table. She eats oatmeal. And then on school days like today, she gets onto the bus. This morning, as I was doing for Lexi what I've done for years and years, the humiliating task, not humiliating, the humbling task of taking care of another human being, there's a strange connection and intimacy there of servanthood. And in those moments where it's just her and I, it's early in the morning, she's not a morning person, so she's kind of grumpy. In those moments, there's holiness there. Because in that moment, my zeal, my enthusiasm, even for the diligence of the mundane is strong, and it gets stronger. My fervor, my sense of being a servant of the Lord gets stronger. God has used Lexi to develop this in me. But the last thing that I will point out to you is this, that Paul makes it sound like this is something that's available to us. When he says never be lacking in zeal, that means that we have an action step to take. When he says keep your spiritual fervor, that means that we have an action step to take. And that action step is simply this, that we have to make the choice to see ourselves as servants. We have to make the choice to fan the flame within us, to keep our spiritual water boiling. Of course, the Holy Spirit does the heavy lifting, but we just make ourselves available to him. And we say, Lord, here am I. I don't want to lack zeal. I don't want to lack fervor. I want to serve you. I don't want to be spiritually lazy. I want to work hard. I want to serve you enthusiastically. And he will help you do this in miraculous ways. And that, my friends, will truly fight evil and help us cling to the good. And the world will notice. So make the decision today. Don't go through the motions. Don't just go to work or go through your day just doing stuff. See yourself as a servant in every opportunity and practice the presence of God as you do that. It will keep your water boiling. That's RadCast.